Welcome to Huawei's HQ in Shenzhen, China. Thanks for joining us for day 2 of Together United Online, where we're exploring how ICT can help manage pandemic response strategies across the world. Yesterday, we looked at how the spread of COVID-19 is impacting all sectors, from healthcare through education to transportation, with concrete examples shared by some key partners. If you missed any of those sessions, you can watch them back at e.huawei.com. Today, let's turn to consider how your business and your enterprise can ensure continuity. Continuity for you, for your employees, and for your families. I'd like to invite Danny Mu from American research firm Forrester to tell us more.
Hello everyone, this is Danny Mu, Principal Analyst from Forrester. It's a great honor to be here to share how should we revisit business continuity management facing the pandemic crisis. In China, 1.4 billion people just experienced the most special Spring Festival. Till now, we have got economy data of January and February. It contracted 13% comparing with last year, which is the fastest contraction in 30 years. Let's look at the data from enterprises. For the large industrial enterprises, the revenue decreased more than 17%, and the profit decreased 38%. You know, in early March, if you fly from Shenzhen to Chengdu, it's a 2.5-hour flight, but you only need to pay just 5 yuan. In the past months, the number of flight passengers dropped 77%, and the catering income dropped 43%. This is a tragedy, but unfortunately, the tragedy won't stop here. Since March, the confirmed cases began to rise fast in Europe and America. As a result, Nissan and Hyundai from Asia, Volkswagen and Airbus from Europe, General Motors and Ford from North America shut down their plants. In addition, Flybe, the Europe's largest regional airline, collapsed in March. These cases lead to severe impact to GDP. Goldman Sachs forecasted that US GDP will decrease by 24% in Q2. Another forecast showed that GDP contraction in UK will last until next year. In Germany, full-year GDP will contract 4 to 5%. In Japan, things are getting better, but GDP will still contract more than 1%. Well, the crisis is terrible, but we still believe that we can finally defeat the break. However, the pandemic is just one form of uncertainty. We can defeat the pandemic, but not the rising uncertainty, because uncertainty is entropy, and the entropy will never decrease over time according to physical laws. The rising uncertainty forces us to revisit business continuity management. Generally, there are 4 phases of BCM coming from oversight, technology, process, and people. There are 11 key elements. Here, we won't go through them all. Instead, we would like to talk more on strategic direction, IT disaster recovery and infrastructure optimization, supply chain management, and HR reactions. According to Forrester's survey data, more than 90% of firms have documented business continuity plan. But we need to notice that the general business continuity plans are not good enough to account for pandemic-specific regulations. As the pandemic is long duration, will cause employee absenteeism, global supply chain disruption, and customer service disruptions. You might need rebuild relationship with your partners. In addition, you also need to face the government-mandated closures, travel bans, and so on. Hence, we must need a pandemic-specific BCP. Based on the general BCP, here we would like to highlight a programmatic mechanism, 4 steps for pandemic planning. The steps include building up the team, conducting rapid business impact analysis, developing the plan specifics, and actively testing the plan. Let's move to details. Step 1. You should ensure you have an executive sponsor from C-suite. Besides your core business continuity response team, make sure to involve HR executives, business leads, CIOs, sales and customer service executives, and CMOs. As the situation is changing daily, make sure to meet daily. In addition, pandemic plans and policies will need to change frequently as the situation unfolds. As we are facing the pandemic, every executive and response team lead should have a backup and must be a part of the daily response team meetings. The backup should have full authority and respect of their peers to make decisions. Step 2. We need to identify critical components and launch the business impact analysis. We need to focus on product and services, accounting for the dynamic demands, the supply chain inventory, and critical business dependencies to identify the most important products and services and assess the impacts of disruption. From process perspective, we need to analyze the financial viability, employee absenteeism, and travel restrictions to evaluate if the process or workloads can support to deliver the most important products and services. Finally, the pandemic crisis revealed the importance of IT systems. Many enterprises would like to accelerate their cloud transformation process, leveraging IoT and automation to reduce human labor dependencies. Besides, you need to revisit your multiple data center strategy and, of course, multiple application strategy. Let's look at some details. From storage perspective, you need to examine your replication and data consistency mechanism. From network perspective, as a lot of employees begin to work remotely, you'd better examine your network capacity, device configuration, and patch level. For third-party dependencies, you need to measure your network configuration, DNS, MPLS, and broadband provider, and third-party applications. During the crisis, it's hard to believe that everything is running normal. Recently, we did see some service outage happen, which was hard to believe before. In March, Google Cloud and Microsoft Teams experienced service outage. The telecom service, which we thought should be dependable before, even went down for a while in UK. And now, UK telecom firms united on campaign to avoid network outage. After business impact analysis, we can begin to develop the plan specifics. We need to take at least 8 scenarios into consideration. Particularly, we need to focus on communication strategy, the product and service continuity plans, and technology foundations. When we talk with business continuity professionals, most of them told us they would emphasize that the communication strategy is quite important. You need to know that your audience are not just your employees. Besides, you need to carefully communicate with your customers, partners, and public via all channels you can use. The BCP is not just only your business to make sure you and your partners are on the same page via effective communication strategy. Now let's look at supply chain. At first, we need to know that time does matter during supply chain continuity plan. Especially in short term, you might have to shut down plants. But let's look ahead and get prepared for the coming opportunities. There are a lot to do. In plan phase, you need to upgrade inventory policy and planning parameters for agile production scheduling. In source phase, you need to consider multiple vendor strategy, understand and activate alternate sources of supply, and extend your supply networks. In make phase, prepare for plant closures and plan for your workforce. In deliver phase, increase the visibility from both inbound and outbound. An example is from Tesla. Previously, Tesla chose Panasonic as its sole supplier for its EV battery. During the pandemic, on the end of February, Tesla announced that their strategic partnership with CATL, which is rooted in China, has global presence and is a key EV battery supplier to BMW. Forrester believes that in the age of customer, your supply chain should be transformed to a highly agile value network. To achieve this goal, upgrade your supply chain system with AI, RPA, IoT, and many other digital applications to build the digital supply chain. Now let's look at the IT infrastructure. In short term, most enterprises are upgrading their remote working suites, but in middle or long term, you must consider to transform your infrastructure tech stack. Previously, the major IT applications are running on your data centers. Many of the firms are migrating some of the workloads to cloud. The edge infrastructure was still in a small portion. In 2020, as most firms are experiencing intensive remote work, they will begin to notice the importance of edge computing. Forrester predicts that in 2022, edge applications will boom and on-prem data center will shrink. In 2024, cloud and edge computing will host the majority of applications, and on-premise data center will shrink to a small portion. Another key trend is automation. Due to remote work and employee absenteeism, automation is gaining popularity. From infrastructure perspective, we need automated resource orchestration to meet the dynamic application workload. We need AI-enabled operation to predict the possible failures and take in-time actions. We need AI-enabled optimization to keep your infrastructure operating in high performance and cost-effective. By all means, we need strengthened security. In the hyper-distributed and automated infrastructure, you might be more easily to be attacked. So, embed security into architecture design, leverage Forrester's zero trust mechanism to upgrade your security level. Don't hesitate to act now to upgrade your infrastructure with automation and security. Now, we come to the last step. Test your plan. Although many enterprises have business continuity plan, but less enterprise really ever launch the related tests or conducted related trainings to your employees. Without testing your plan, you don't really have a plan. Here, you must test full range of job responsibilities and individual business cases, aiming at your workload in peak time to verify your plan. I know most of you are currently launched your plan already, but after a crisis, don't forget to upgrade and test your plan periodically. Well, we have introduced the 4 steps for the pragmatic BCM. Again, we must know that it's not the end. According to survey data, 75% of organizations have invoked a business continuity plan in the past 5 years. Besides the disasters or accidents, even in normal times, enterprises are still forced to face the uncertainty and risks. Figure on the right showed the average company lifespan of S&P 500 index. In 1960, it was around 30 years. But in 2020, it will drop to around 15 years. S&P 500. Even these companies are facing such kind of severe challenges. So for most enterprises, we cannot passively react with BCM. Instead, we need to take it as a kind of new normal to proactively face the challenges from uncertainty. By all means, we need to build adaptive enterprise to improve our adaptiveness to face the challenges. The adaptive enterprises are based on an agile foundation with key adaptiveness from 3 areas. First, technology adaptiveness. Embrace emerging technologies to drive innovation. When your enterprise needs to enter a new area, the technology foundation can quickly act as a digital engine to support a new business model. Second, market adaptiveness. You must be customer-focused. Embrace the value ecosystem. Drive all your actions with market insights. Third, organizational adaptiveness. Many firms tested remote working now, which requires us to consider the new form of organization. We need to embrace the distributed team, augment the traditional hierarchical organization with automation-driven gig economy. At last, let's develop programmatic BCP to defeat the pandemic crisis and build adaptive enterprise to address the challenges from rising uncertainty. Thanks.
Careful, considered business continuity management, BCM for short, is an important part of Huawei's own strategy. The lessons we've learned are transferable to your enterprise too. Let's hand over to David Sun, Vice President of Huawei's Enterprise Business Group.
Dear customers, partners, and global friends, it's my pleasure to meet you online. This summit is being held at an extraordinary time and in an extraordinary way. First things first, we would like to take this opportunity to pay the deepest respect to everyone fighting at this moment, especially medical personnel. In such hard times, they are our inspiration. Today, I'm going to talk about Huawei's mechanism of business continuity management, BCM for short, and how it is helping us weather the storm. The year 2020 has started so badly. Many of us, I'm sure, would like to be able to reset it. The pandemic and the various political, economic, and natural disasters have occurred one after the other. All organizations are facing risks and increasing uncertainties, impacting their entire business chains, cash, logistics, labor, and information flows. Nothing is untouched, bring huge challenges to enterprise business continuity. The world seems to be in chaos, but humans will never stop pursuing prosperity and development. How can we overcome so many challenges and return to a period of calm as soon as possible? Pushing our prosperity to new heights This is what we need to solve. During the peak period of the pandemic, user traffic in China increased by over 30% overall. In some provinces, that figure even reached 100%. Average traffic on the backbone network also increased by 30%, and sometimes more. ICT network infrastructure has truly been put to the test. And fortunately, the network experience has remained good. Network stability is vital, of course, and countries around the world should therefore review and redefine infrastructure policies to build fully connected, digital and intelligent ICT infrastructure. This is the solution for promoting development and addressing challenges. As we understand it, it is what we propose for global development, and we are committed to achieving this goal. We also learned during the pandemic that digital technologies play a more and more important role in social operations, remote offices, online education, online healthcare, and contactless services have developed rapidly during these extraordinary times. Innovative technologies such as AI, big data, cloud, and others have been applied, enabling business to operate as usual, despite the lockdown caused by the pandemic. Within network stability, enabling the use of digital technologies to support societies. The key role of experts has also become clear. We are talking about leading expert Zhong Nanshan from China, and Professor Neil Ferguson and his team at Imperial College London. The World Health Organization's Dr. Bruce Alworth has also played a key role, as well as the virus hunter, Professor Ian Lipkin of Columbia University. In the face of this unexpected global unknown coronavirus, these experts have quickly offered important opinions, judgment, and suggestions, guided by science, professional knowledge, and systematic measures to assist governments in making decisions. They have safeguarded our public health, and as a result, have saved many lives around the world, and they continue to do so. As the external environment becomes increasingly complex and unpredictable, instead of sticking to top-down authority, we need to harness the power of experts and use BCM methodologies to efficiently manage our businesses. We strongly recommend that BCM be escalated to the strategic level of enterprises. Every enterprise that intends to endure must consider BCM to reduce the impact that emergencies have on their businesses. The impact of the pandemic is gradually taking shape, but all that has happened so far could just be the beginning. What risks await us in the future? Demand downturn, economic depression, financial turmoil, food shortages. How can we endure all these things? How do we survive? And how do we develop? It's hard to fully measure the pandemic's impact on global enterprises in terms of production, sales, supply, logistics, testing, delivery, human resources, and administration. Huawei has quickly followed its BCM policy and initiated a contingency plan to assist pandemic response. What have we done specifically? First, we endure the health and the safety of our employees, and our offices and operations are unaffected. In addition, Huawei has responded to the requirements of global customers and partners by safely resuming production, implementing online transactions, and ensuring customer delivery. Huawei is also working with carriers to guarantee secure and stable network operations, as well as using innovative digital technology and applications to help fight the pandemic. We digitized most of our business chain and completed the switch from offline to online in one day. Huawei's WeLink digital smart office system is supporting remote office working for our 194,000 employees in 1,023 sites spread over 170 countries and regions. Since February, 1.3 million online meetings have been held, with 12 million connections initiated every day. Behind me, you can see a WeLink meeting between Huawei colleagues in Milan and Roma on March 31st, staying connected even though they are physically apart. Huawei has also opened WeLink to customers, partners, and suppliers to support mass online communications and remote working. When the pandemic was at its peak in China, we launched over 300 online courses and training sessions using WeLink to help partners learn about Huawei's latest technologies and solutions. all from the safety of their homes. In terms of marketing, we have hosted global summits, exhibitions, and showcase experiences, all online. In sales, we have turned to online transactions and billing. Our service delivery team is using an emergency service war room to converge global organization and service platforms. We have also set up a new delivery center in Romania and gathered together more than 100 experts to ensure 24/7 remote delivery support and online operation and maintenance services. Huawei has released the Partner Support Plan for joint response to the pandemic to help relieve pressure on our partners' operations in various countries. And we are supporting our partners' businesses' operations further by extending warranty periods and providing emergency fault recovery services. We are also providing online enablement support for partners. I'd like to tell you a few stories of our experience during the pandemic. In February this year, we experienced a sharp surge in demand for remote office and online education products and solutions. A super large internet service provider in China was in urgent need of network expansion. However, a global shortage of active optical cables had been caused by the pandemic. This stalled system connection and installation, even though switches and servers had been purchased and shipped. Would this large-scale network expansion project really become stranded over a small, low-value cable? This customer contacted almost all cable manufacturers in the region. None of them had any inventory left. But Huawei leveraged its supply capabilities and was able to meet the customer's urgent need, in turn ensuring stable operations and the rapid development of the customer's business. After that experience, this customer drew conclusions and adjusted its procurement strategy and measures, and had in-depth communications about BCM with Huawei, laying a solid foundation for its future business development. How does Huawei maintain such reliable supply capabilities? Take an optical module product as an example. During the pandemic, four major suppliers stopped production, and the overall production capacity of the market fell by 60%. Yet, Huawei could deliver its existing equipment within 3 days, qualify new suppliers within 1 day, and meet all supply requirements within 2 months. The Wuhan, Huasenshan, hospital attracted wide publicity from the very start of its construction. China completed the whole process from solution design to construction and delivery in just 10 days. Huawei was proud to be a part of this real-life mission impossible. With our BCM mechanism, Huawei was able to quickly send more than 100 engineers and worked within 10 local partners to deploy more than 1,600 ICT devices in an area covering 34,000 square meters. We completed the network delivery for Huajinshan Hospital in just 3 days. More importantly, not a single member of our team, including partners, was infected. Let's watch a short video. Business continuity risks refer to the systematic risks that may cause business interruption. BCM can greatly reduce their impact. Unlike risk management, BCM focuses on impact and time, while risk management focuses on impact and possible frequency. Gartner believes that BCM can help any enterprise stably achieve its strategic objectives in the long term. This includes the recovery of basic service processes, such as a service recovery plan, work areas recovery, and employee response capability building. It also includes IT disaster recovery and service continuity management, supplier risk and emergency management, and crisis and emergency management. Huawei provides network services for global customers, and service continuity is the basis of our services and the guarantee of our survival. Huawei has been developing systematic business continuity management system, or BCMS, since 2006. With over a decade of experience, we have established an end-to-end BCM system in R&D, procurement, manufacturing, logistics, global technical services, finance, IT, and other domains. We have also set up BCM organizations, developed incident management and business continuity plans and organized training and drills. These activities have helped us improve our business continuity, awareness, and emergency response capabilities, effectively ensuring our business continuity. A diversified vendor strategy, known as Plan B, is an important BCM measure. It ensures continuous operations and digital transformation of core enterprise services. Such a strategy encourages competition and allows enterprises to benefit more quickly from technological innovations. A diversified vendor strategy may not be necessary in terms of technology, but it's necessary in terms of corporate strategy. It minimizes the chance of supply interruption and out-of-service periods caused by emergencies. When selecting vendors, enterprises must first look to open and standard technologies, avoiding proprietary protocols that may cause technological lock-in. They must also properly manage the life cycle of old technologies. Instead of just responding to a crisis, we must implement a diversified vendor strategy well in advance. Gartner estimates that 80% of enterprises will need at least 2 new strategic equipment providers in the future. Huawei annually reviews and updates its BCM plan for continuous optimization. In recent years, there have been many major natural disasters, wars, and political, economic, and trade risks around the world. Yet, Huawei has still been able to provide customers with stable and reliable services, maintaining steady and rapid business growth. Take the 2015 earthquake in Nepal as an example. At that time, I was in charge of Huawei's business in the Southeast Asia region and of Huawei's rescue work. On April 25th, at 2:41 p.m., Huawei's delivery support team arrived at the customer's site and repaired its base station just 30 minutes after the earthquake had happened. At 3:30 p.m., a little over an hour after the earthquake, the team had quickly completed a head count, set up a disaster relief team, and started to collect medical materials, food, and water. At 3:32, we initiated the corporate earthquake contingency plan, released an internal report, and communicated with the customer. Huawei's comprehensive and effective BCM mechanism played a key role in our quickly response to an emergency such as this, allowing our employees at all levels to perform their duties and respond in an efficient way. Currently, the world is at a critical moment in fighting the pandemic, and there are still many challenges and unknown risks to come. Only by thinking and planning ahead can we survive and become stronger. While we work with customers and partners to help weather the storm, together united. Thank you.
Rely on a global supply chain, proactive planning for worst-case scenarios is absolutely vital. Huawei's Michelle Fan, Director of Supply Chain Operations, can explain more.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to meet you online. My name is Fan Meihua. You can call me Michelle. Now be in charge of Huawei Supply Chain Quality and Operation Department. I already joined Huawei for 18 years. Next, let me share the experience of Huawei Supply Chain BCM management. Today, we are entering the world of VUCA, volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. VUCA is a big challenge for supply chain management. That's to say, many events happen frequently, like gray rhinos and black swans. Today, we meet the biggest black swan event of this year. We really don't know whether tomorrow or accident will come first. So business continuity and stability will be the top priority of supply chain management. Since 10 years ago, Huawei has already built up a set of BCM system, which has been verified by many past disasters. For example, Japanese earthquake and Indonesia tsunami. BCM system covered end-to-end management among suppliers, Huawei, and customers. Supply chain is one of the important links to keep continuous supply and service our customer. We insist on multi-element strategy, including multiple technicals to use, multiple suppliers to choose, production facility in multiple countries, and supply chain across multiple regions. In product development, Huawei supports multi-supply solution from raw material, PCBA, and product assembly. Single supplier or single area supply should be avoided to keep our product availability. Huawei built up BCM system together with our suppliers and sign long-term supply guarantee agreements with our key suppliers. We also realize supply visibility from forecast, PO fulfillment, and suppliers' inventory. We also cooperated with many EMS to expand and back up our manufacturing capability. At the same time, we set up flexible inventory of raw material, semi-product, to respond to the changes of customer requirements and supply situations. Huawei has 4 supply centers to improve our customer service capacity, cover over 170 countries, provide over 2,700 transportation routes without interruption. These 4 key solutions ensure efficient resource, orderly supply, and guarantee stable service to our customers. Next, I will introduce our detailed actions. 20 years ago, Huawei established IPD process, consolidated BCM requirements into 3 steps of this process. Firstly, before product development, the whole team should evaluate the risk of raw material, supply, and manufacturing capacity. Output the preventing solution. In trial run and pilot run, we must verify the solution effect and make cycle improvement after mass production. Through this process, Huawei realized the supply capacity of multi-technology solution, including pin-to-pin compatible, board, and product solution backup. Huawei has procurement center in Songshan Lake, managing the process, qualification, and purchase globally. 2 qualification centers in Japan and Germany support global suppliers sample verify, test, and so on. We also set up procurement department in countries to support local business. Global procurement realizes multiple suppliers to provide key materials, and our key suppliers have factories in multiple regions. We set up 4 supply centers in China, Europe, Latin America, and Dubai, covering raw material preparation, finished goods, production, and delivery. Provides 1 to 3 weeks supply chain capacity close to our customer. When disasters or risks happen, China and overseas supply center can back up each other. And each supply center has multiple factories by product and self-backup. Our logistic network, including more than 20 international transportation suppliers, more than 140 customer brokers, and more than 200 warehouses. Huawei's business is distributed in more than 170 countries. We built up a multi-load, multi-route, multi-resource logistic network to cover from supply center to countries, then from country to customer. By cooperating with our suppliers, the logistic network is fully visibility. Support cold or hot backup, plug and play as module, and enable dynamic switch over based on risk response plans. In the past 2 months, as we know, many suppliers shut down. Air resource reduced more than 40%, and some customers and cargo checking. Based on Huawei BCM plans, as I mentioned, we recovered our business and keep stable supply. Firstly, Huawei cooperated with suppliers to recover production. and replaced or backed up risk materials to ensure effective resource. Huawei started to production from beginning of February. 2 weeks later, Huawei's cell factory fully recovered. At the time, we also share experience to help our suppliers. Until now, almost all suppliers are recovered. We have a case here. It's very difficult in February for optical module supply. Demand increased, but 60% capacity lost. We pull in suppliers' inventory within 3 days, confirm the new suppliers' capacity in 1 day, and finish the qualification, transfer from original suppliers to new suppliers, completed production introduction within 1 month. Every step needs running with time. Secondly, China supply center and overseas supply center should be back up each other. When we faced risk broke out in China, overseas supply center operated normally. Now, the issue happened overseas. China supply center has recovered. For logistic network, our emergency plan effective rate is over 85%. We also prepare additional logistic solution for new challenge. For example, we use torch relay solution from Hungary to Italy. You know, normally European international transportation by truck, but now drivers passing through Italy need to be quarantined for 14 days, reducing the truck transportation capacity by 80%. Now, we start to use multimodal link transportation by train, then to ferry, then by truck. Driver needn't cross border. No logistic shortage for the next 4 months. I remember a story about send the letter to Cassia. For impossible mission, no excuse, just do it. Thirdly, ensuring customer service need rolling review of customer demand, especially situation change every moment. For raw material, product, and order, using two-way simulation and tracking to maximize supply capacity. On-time collection and allocation resource to ensure stable service that needs production and marketing collaboration. Not only supply chain try our best to fast delivery, like this case, we can do for the urgent case, non-stop delivery to customer in 36 hours. But also need marketing guide to using typical product and matching inventory. Under disaster, the resource is limited. We must make resource maximizing realization. I summarize supply chain experience here. Prevention is very important. Keeping sensitive and quickly response also are important. Huawei have fully confidence to ensure effective resource and orderly supply. We also wish our partners take the torch, transfer to serve final customer in your country. Customer satisfaction is our target. We will deeply collaborate with our customers and partners in the special period and fight over difficulties together. As Silica said, we are waves of the same sea, leaves of the same tree, flowers of the same garden. Today, we are in the same boat facing raining. Tomorrow, we will hug under the same sky. Thank you.
As a major solution and product supplier for a diverse range of customers, Huawei understands that we have a responsibility to all of you. That's why we've ramped up our support services. As President Allu of Huawei Enterprise Technical Service Department says, we are committed to tackling the difficulties together. Let's hear from him now.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. As we all know, the novel coronavirus pandemic is spreading rapidly across the globe, placing great pressure on, posing many challenges to all industries around the world. Though the situation is dire, Huawei has prepared enhanced emergency service support to help you weather the storm. And to date, we have already successfully helped a number of customers and partners. In the end of March, the number of confirmed coronavirus cases increased sharply. Hospitals in Italy urgently needed telemedicine solutions to be deployed and interconnected so that they could consult with each other remotely. Under that emergency environment, we dispatched Huawei engineers to Italy as soon as we had complete security and health protection measures. 3 on-site engineers spent half a day installing, testing, and rolling out a telemedicine system in 3 hospitals. In addition, remote global service center experts were also present online, helping to ensure the smooth implementation of the solution. This telemedicine solution made a significant contribution to the rapid development of a remote consultation network, assisting the pandemic prevention and control worker in local hospitals. On the other side of the world, Huawei has also provided a telemedicine video conference system for Thailand's Ministry of Disease Control and its hospitals, supporting the Thai people in their anti-pandemic efforts. The system was installed, commissioned, and be online in 5 different locations within a single week. With the system in place, medical experts in different parts of Thailand provided and continue to provide remote consultation for patients, as well as interactive training for frontline medical staff. Diagnosis and treatment efficiency has been enhanced and infection risk has been reduced. If I may, let me quote Thailand's Prime Minister directly. He said, "I would like to thank Huawei for its professional technical support, which has improved the efficiency of our fight against the pandemic. We hope that Huawei can continue to contribute to Thailand's digital transformation and improve the lives of Thai people." From the above cases, you can see we always pride ourselves on responding quickly to customer needs, providing ongoing services under any and every environment. This is a difficult time for the world. And in response, we have set up an emergency service center to provide operation and management, delivery, and on-site for all of our customers. We will do anything we can to keep your critical service online, prevent disruption to your systems, safeguard your service experience, continue your IT system building, and improve your ICT capabilities. First of all, Huawei's service sharing centers cover more than 170 countries and regions. We have built 3 global GSCs, 5 regional technical assistance centers. When the pandemic broke out, Huawei Enterprise Services responded rapidly and increased the resource investment to provide 24/7 technical support and spare parts services for customers around the world. We have simplified service processes, shortening online response times from 2 hours to just 10 minutes. We have also released 4 emergency support solutions to ensure sufficient supply and rapid delivery of spare parts. Throughout the pandemic, we have managed to continue to deliver large quantities of critical spare parts to our customers in many countries using chartered flights. In addition, our emergency remote support team and intelligent support platform provide customers with contactless network services, including remote proactive support, remote optimization, remote network design and commissioning. Moreover, the remote emergency support team has over 800 technical engineers and over 100 Huawei certified ICT experts on duty around the clock. This team is dedicated to effectively addressing your network problems and issues they are there for you. In terms of delivery, we have reinforced our support for remote delivery and gathered more than 100 remote delivery experts to provide 24/7 remote design, commissioning, deployment services. These methods effectively prevent disruption to customer ICT system development. A very important part, on-site operations are needed in certain critical scenarios. For example, during project rollout and service recovery. For these scenarios, we classify operation sites into red, yellow, and blue zones based on the risk of infection. Of course, we provide complete different personal protection to ensure safe on-site services. During the pandemic, it's our duty to support our service partners and provide the customers with high quality and consistent services. Our service policies will quickly respond to changes. If project delivery is delayed, partners can apply for an additional free 90-day warranty period to ensure that customers' post-sales services are not affected. In addition, we provide remote delivery and troubleshooting training for partner employees who are working remotely or social distancing during the pandemic. This ensures smooth communications between Huawei, customers, and partners, preventing business disruption. As you all know, due to lockdown and social distancing, planned face-to-face training and on-site enablement activities have been suspended. Customers' service needs, however, cannot be delayed. When the pandemic first broke out, Huawei transferred all offline training and certification activities online. We are also providing certain pandemic prevention and control courses for users free of charge. We are sharing these training courses online to introduce our experience in managing overall enterprise and employee health during the pandemic period. In addition, we have migrated our lab environments to an online platform and released online learning and examination systems to ensure that training and certification, as far as possible, are not interrupted. At the end, Huawei services is there for you and always will be
no matter how the environment changes. Thank you very much. Take care and stay safe.
Thanks for joining us for this morning's sessions as we come together united online. Join us again this afternoon at 2 p.m. Central European Time when we'll explore how ICT is helping campuses and communities manage daily life in these extraordinary times.